What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. And YouTube, I want to talk to you about something. If you're looking for an entertaining kind of popcorn flick for February, there's usually not a ton of great movies out there, especially January, February. Times are really pretty lean, pretty low on the horror, right? And so yesterday, I went to the movie theater and I watched this film that is kind of a true Valentine's Day revenge, sci-fi thrill fest, if you want to call it that. And if that sounds interesting, this might be for you. Now listen, I was lucky to completely avoid all trailers, all TV spots, everything about this film, minus the posters and the still images. And if all possible, I think that is the way to go into this film. Companion, the only real spoiler that I do have was the poster when I was looking up times and how long it was going to be and just kind of looking at not really what people were saying, but just kind of trying to like orient what I wanted to watch yesterday. The cover, the poster does kind of give it away, where it's got this woman and her eyes are kind of rolled back. Hard to stay away from everything, so that is kind of a spoiler. Everything else in this review though will be spoiler free, so let's get into it. So Companion is directed by Drew Hancock, and it says on the poster that this is from the guys that brought you Barbarian and something else. But anyway, this film stars Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Cage, Rupert Friend, I guess is his name. And it stars Iris and Josh, and they're in this relationship and they're deciding they're going to go on kind of like a little weekend getaway, a little cabin, right? That's what they're thinking, a little away from society, a little unplugged time, if you will. And he's going to introduce them again, his friend group, to his girlfriend, Iris. On the way up in the car, he's kind of coaching her up, if you will, kind of just like, hey babe, here's how you should act. Don't worry if they think you're weird. Don't worry if things go wrong. Just be happy, right? Just act natural and put on a smiley face, right? Be there for me. Let's go ahead and do this thing together. And so as they come up, they're introduced to Kat, who is immediately kind of cold and off-putting, and she's very into Josh, and she's kind of like picking his brain. You can tell that there's something amiss here. And the character Iris, she is just a little bit awkward. Everything is just a little bit strange. Not necessarily strange like Stepford Wives or some sort of other sci-fi Terminator kind of film, but just a little bit different, just a little bit off, but not enough to really like put your finger on it until about 20 minutes in, where this film becomes kind of like this weekend holiday kind of thriller romp, where we're introduced to the group of friends and they're really into origin stories and kind of telling their story and kind of like letting the group in on what happened, right? So what ends up happening is Iris is not who she says she is, and Josh has been kind of shopping for his friend online. And there's other characters in this film that have a lot of, similarities, I guess. And yeah, everything kind of goes wrong, where there's kind of a setup, a little bit of a revenge plot, and then a little bit of malfunctioning, if you will. And things just go off the fucking rails. I had a gigantic smile on my face while I was watching this film. I went by myself, and just so you guys know, if you're over 30, 40-ish, right, and you have nothing else to do and you have a day off, go to the movies by yourself, treat yourself, get that cherry Coke, drink that beer, take that, whatever you're into to make your movie better. Do those things. Treat yourself. Get one of those luxury loungers, right? That Cinemark mode where you can just like sit back and just kind of like have a couple of nachos with some jalapenos and just let a film just be a popcorn flick and just kind of take you for a ride. And that's exactly what happened with Companion. I had no clue what was happening, right? For the first like 20 minutes, I was a little out of it. And I was like, what's going to happen here? I just had the best time, dude. I thought that it was kind of very fresh, very interesting, had a pretty good amount of gore in it as well. And things just went a little predictable once I kind of seen the theme and what they were going to do. But it was very funny. It was like a black comedy, kind of sci-fi tech, almost like a Spike Jonze, Her meets kind of a James Cameron with a little bit of, I don't know. It was a fresh take though. I really, I had the best time watching it. I left, if you're going out of 5, I'm giving this, initially I was going to go 3.5 out of 5, but I'm going to say 4 out of 5. Companion for me is a solid 7. The only thing, my only complaint is this isn't really a horror film. This is more of kind of like a thriller, kind of like a sci-fi, high-tech thriller that's got some horror elements in it. I just don't think there's enough to really call this horror. Almost like Barbarian was a horror film. It had like, you know, kind of a different intro and intro. It was kind of like a mix of a few different films, but Barbarian for the most part brought tension, brought disturbing scares down in the basement. Call it what you want. I thought it was Skarsgård did a great damn job. I love that actress. I thought that the Mama character was great. This is not for Barbarian. What are we doing? This is for Companion. So you can kind of see how the writer and directors, like they're tied up in this kind of like telling a new story, trying to do something interesting. And for the most part, I think that this film delivered, man. I really had a good time. Like, there was a lot of laughter in my theater. There was a lot of, oh, shit. Oh, like, there was just enough of that. And I think that the technology and the way that they use it in this film is really, I think, what's going to haul the mail. If I'm going to pick this up on 4K, it's going to be for the soundtrack, because it does have a lot of interesting things where they're messing with like cell phones. They're turning up inflection. They're turning up color and tone and shapes, and everything is kind of customizable, if you will, on the cell phone. And I thought that was a really cool touch, and it felt very like almost like virtual reality, VR-ish. And I just kind of felt like I got to kind of have like, I don't know, like the inside scoop of the film's story while they were kind of messing with the settings. It was very relatable. And I think that with a really good sound system on a cool TV, this thing is going to pop. It's going to have a lot of blood, not a ton of gore, but it does have a lot of malfunctioning and chase sequences. And it's a little predictable where you're like, oh yeah, I could see that coming. And it does push some boundaries. It does push the envelope a little bit in some of the content matter and some of the things that it talks about. If this is where humanity's going in civilization, the way people are meeting each other and giving themselves these origin stories, this is totally predictable. This could totally happen, and it totally freaks me out. So I think this is more of like a THX 1138, or, you know, like a I don't know, a Stepford Wives too. Like, it's just got a little bit of like, this isn't that far off. This could really be happening right now. I know people that could really use this technology, and it's pretty fun the way it plays out. I think if you got nothing better to do, if you can catch this on a matinee for $7 in the cinema, dude, 100% check it out. If you're a horror fan and you're not really into sci-fi, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed. But for me, I love sci-fi. I love kind of the technology part of it, and I thought that it was pretty creative, pretty unique. I know it's getting like 93, 94, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not going to go that far. I think I did have some problems with it, but not enough to say don't go see it. So if you're interested in just kind of a cheap little quick thrill, dude, I think this is a quick sit. I sat down. I think I was out of there in 90 minutes, dude, with the soda refill, right? Just boom, 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 hit me right across the face. And I was just like, that was pretty fun. I'm going to go ahead and definitely recommend that. So, Companion, if you want to see more from me, like, comment, subscribe, talk some shit down there. Let me know what you think. Are you going to check this out? There really wasn't anything else to go see. I've heard bad things about that Presence movie. What are you going to go see? Like Mark Wahlberg? Or are you going to wait for Hard Eyes? Maybe. But I just wanted to go see something that people were talking about that just looked kind of interesting and kind of fun. So, check it out, Companion 2025. Thanks.